So, guys, it is currently day 320. I hope you guys had a wonderful day and are doing better than yesterday. Time is currently 5:30, and tonight I slept very well. Like for the past few days, I have slept absolutely amazing. Though I'm not sure if that's because I have removed all my devices out of my room, or it's simply because I just stopped worrying so much at night about trifling things. But either way, my routine is back in check, and now I'm gonna go to the gym, have an amazing workout, come back, and continue on working on my project. Continue on doing the hard things and the difficult things that is going to improve my skills and eventually achieve my purpose. Now, today I also want to talk about why we should not do drugs. Now, I know this is probably a stupid subject. Obviously, it's common sense to not do drugs. But there are some things that I do want to talk about. And most importantly, how can we overcome this if we have found ourselves in a deep place where we feel like we cannot come back from the damage we have done to ourselves? So, that being said, keep in touch and I'll see you guys this afternoon.
So, guys, the time tonight is currently what's that? 6:40 p.m. So, I didn't record my afternoon clip is because I got so busy, I got so focused that I just forgot to do it. And after that, I went right to work. So, I didn't have any time until now. But today, I do want to talk about what we can do or what you could do if you feel like drugs has messed you up. Now, I want to talk about this because this topic is very relevant to what I am going through at the moment currently. Due to my relapse recently, 2 weeks ago, I find everything that I do, that I used to do, unmotivating. No longer was doing the hard thing something I look forward to. Rather, my days have just been nothing but pain and just pure sadness. Why? Because after taking meth, my dopamine levels and serotonin, all the feel good chemicals, were totally destroyed. Therefore, I had no ambition, no drive, and no nothing. I have no desire to do anything else with my life but just hope that tomorrow will be better. To just hope that one day I'll feel better again. But obviously, I could not do this with taking drugs. I had to find some other ways to reboot my mind to where I had left it before. And quite frankly, guys, it was difficult. Even now, I don't have the desire and eagerness to do the work like I had used to. Why? It's because after taking drugs, now this goes with any drugs, but meth especially, that after taking drugs, you don't live life as the same anymore. Like the things you do before no longer is really that exciting. It opens your eyes to a whole new reality, perhaps even a better feeling than you had ever, and I mean ever experienced before. And this is perhaps one reason why nobody should take drugs. And obviously, I don't want anyone to test drugs. The wise thing to do is to not touch drugs. We all know that. But I'm not your parent. I'm not trying to educate you to say don't do drugs because I'm sure we all know what is the right thing to do. However, if you have fallen down the rabbit hole like I have, if you feel like life no longer is meaningful, that life doesn't feel worth living without the use of substances, then let me tell you, although it may seem like that, you may have created these memories on drugs, on narcotics, that you no longer can enjoy life at its fullest, and certainly the things you used to do no longer excites you as before. And you always want to chase this next excitement, this next high from life, perhaps through narcotics, because you no longer can enjoy life as the same before. And this is a very depressing feeling, guys. It is very sad to no longer be able to have the ability to enjoy life just as it is if you were sober. That is very sad. And if there's one thing I regret, is to not live life like anyone else. Because once you create those memories, once you experience something more from life than from what a normal lifestyle can give you, You just can't go back. It is like trying sugar for the first time. It is like masturbating for the first time. I'm sure you guys can somewhat relate to this if you have not touched drugs. Is that first feeling, and you hope you have never done it, but because that feeling will stay with you forever. That memory will stay with you forever. You cannot just forget about it. But what I want to talk about today, while I am getting a bit off topic, is if you have messed up your mind from drugs, how can you pull yourself back in so that you can find joy and excitement from doing the things that used to excite you but no longer does because drugs has messed you up? And I just want to give you guys hope that it is never too late to rebuild the damage you have done. The worst thing I could have taken as an advice is to listen to people read articles about how the drugs and the damage it does to your body is permanent. Because if I had taken that to heart, then certainly I would not try to change. Then I would not try and just be the victim of my own choices, saying to myself that, David, you fucked up. Your mind is totally messed up. So is your body. So what is the point of even trying? Just take more drugs. Drugs are good and it makes you feel great. Right? I could have just walked down the rabbit hole even further if it was not that I still hold on to hope. If it was not that I was still a bit stubborn, thinking that I can rebuild the damage I have done, then my story would be totally different from today. But if you guys feel like the damage you have done is irreversible, you are wrong, because the damage you have done certainly can be undone. However, the memories cannot be forgotten. Remember that. The damage can be undone, the memories cannot be forgotten. So if you feel like that life is not worth living anymore without drugs, just know you can start to enjoy the things you used to by rebuilding those neural pathway connections. And what I have found to really animate my old habits and lifestyle routines is to put more effort into doing it. So once you take in drugs, is what I have realized, is yes, you no longer enjoy the things you used to do. And you make it more difficult for you to enjoy the normal things that would otherwise give a normal person who's sober pleasure. In other words, you have to try harder to really fight for that same feeling of dopamine hit, whereas the other person who's sober would have just lived life much easier and would have found the tedious thing more enjoyable than you do. So it is not impossible to find joy and happiness from the things you used to do, but certainly you have to give it more effort. You have to, for say, take more risk, because only by taking more risk, only by experiencing failure at the start, would you have a chance to encounter a victory sooner. And this is the trick, guys, because what I have realized from taking drugs and really coming back from finding joy in life is that we have to find a way to create dopamine, right? This is the sole trick. We have to find a way to quickly produce that dopamine. And the only way to do that, the way I found more effective, is to turn the tedious task and routine you used to do and find a way to try get a victory from doing that, to try get a feeling of achievement from doing that. Because the longer you hold off your hit of dopamine, the more difficult and more tedious the task will become. So in essence, what I have found to work for me at the moment, which is to learn how to code, is instead of just doing tutorials over tutorials and just writing things that have no meaning to myself, I really want to find a way to experience failure right away. I want to do something difficult. And thus, when I learn to overcome that difficulty, I have a sense of achievement. And that is going to make me feel good. And that will start to reform the neural connections in my mind that I had destroyed due to my use of substances. And it is only with time and with only repetition can we rebuild the damage we have done to ourselves. But it is never too late to change. It is never too late to say, I can become better. But what is and will always stop you from doing the right things is your belief that you have gone too deep and you can't come back from. Now, if you still hold on to this belief, then it is certain that you have fulfilled your own self prophecy, that you will not change, that you will stay as you are right now, that you will be consumed by narcotics, by distractions, and by pleasure. If you refuse to take a stand and fight for the change, then nothing different is going to happen in your life. You won't wake up one day feeling better. You won't wake up one day with the enthusiasm and ambition to change in life. You don't just wake up with that feeling. You work for that feeling. You work and you act and you do the hard things to create that feeling of ambition, desire, and enthusiasm to change your lifestyle. That doesn't come to you. You have to fight for it. And to do that, you have to change. You have to change your lifestyle and you have to change your routine. But just know you can still come back from this if you feel like you have done yourself harm by using narcotics, by using drugs, by abusing them. It is never too late, so never give up. The worst thing you could do for yourself is to accept defeat and play the victim, accepted that your fate is set based on the first day of your worst decision you have made, and that is to pick up the drugs and take them. Because no, if you can break yourself down, you can build yourself back up. So always keep that mindset and never, and I mean never, give up until you have tried absolutely everything. That being said, today has been an amazing day, and certainly tonight I'm going to go downstairs, have some food, and call it a night. It's been great, but definitely have to prioritize my rest so that tomorrow I can come back even sharper and stronger. I'll see you guys then. Good night.